Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Brad Gabahart from Verb Moto. Recently, I saw that Clinton Fowler Facts on Twitter, posted the potential numbers for next season on his article on We Went Fast. So I wanted to quickly share that with you guys, make a video, and also share that with Matt Burkeen. So maybe he could bring that to you guys on the YouTube Mediaverse. So let's go through this real quickly. I will share my screen and then we will kind of go through this whole thing, tip to tail and back again. All right, guys. So first and foremost, that was awesome gear from is that Justin Brayton right there. Um, a lot of this has is hinging on the fact that there's a number of riders that will likely be giving up their number in the coming year. We anticipate 4 riders to be giving up their number, and actually, I don't know that all of these guys will be. I think Chad Reed will likely hold on to that number 22 again, but technically he's out of petitioning. Like he can't appeal that anymore. So um, he very well could lose the 22. If he doesn't, that actually is gonna change some numbers down the stretch here. But for the most part, this should give you a really good idea of what you're going to be looking at. All right, so guys who will be defending championships in 2024. Chase Sexton, he'll obviously be running the number 1 and a red plate at least the first round of Monster Energy Supercross. And then you have Jet Lawrence, who will be running the number 1 outdoors. Because when you win every single moto outdoors, that's just what happens. You're going to win the championship and you're going to sport the number 1 on your HRC 450 going into next year. White backgrounds for the 96 machine of Hunter Lawrence. He'll be switching 450 for the full time, and he doesn't look happy about it in this picture. But maybe he's not happy about the fact that he's still running the 250 class, or that those Alpine Star goggles are actually made by X Brand. New career numbers, I would anticipate, as well as looks like Clinton Fowler anticipates having Hayden Deegan running the number 38. I wouldn't imagine he moves off that number unless he then eventually bust that down to a single digit number. No, I wouldn't mind seeing him take number 8. Like, it's kind of already part of his sort of shtick, and a single digit number always looks good. And nobody has had number 8 since Grant Langston back. I think he retired back in 2011 or 12. Levi Kitchen will also be picking a permanent number, and it looks like when he shows up on the pro circuit Kawasaki for 2024, he'll have number 47 on the number plates. First time for some 2-digit numbers for 2023. We've got some guys that are rookies or guys that came over. Tom Vial, there's a possibility of him running number 16, as it looks like Zach Osborne will be relinquishing that number. Talon Hawkins, after turning pro this year and racing all of the outdoors, he'll be running number 35 potentially. Caden Braswell, he had himself a decent season, kind of rode for a lot of teams. He was on Honda, on a Husky for a while, and then he ended up Gas for a while, and then he ended up on a Kawasaki. So he showed he can get it done on all 3 manufacturers, and he'll be running 43 for the next coming season. Chance Hymas, he'll have a different number next year. Same thing with Jose Boutron, and looks like Daxton Bennick is going to be just inside the top 50 or the top 60 with a 59. Of course, that is subject to change if one of these guys that otherwise should be giving up their permanent number, guys like Chad Reed, if he doesn't give up the 22, that's going to bump everybody backward a number or so. Jet Reynolds, number 99. That's going to be a tough look for a young man who, there's so much promise that came from a guy like Jet Reynolds. Hopefully he can kind of turn that ship around. I don't know if he's going to be on a Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki next year. I very much doubt it, but wherever he lands, he'll probably be pretty fast. All right, so let's go through this quickly. Look at the legend here. Career numbers, new career numbers, which will also be changing, and then they've also highlighted potentially a big number change for the number 23 machine, Chase Sexton, as he moves forward. Guys who can position to keep their number are highlighted in tan, and available career numbers are also highlighted in, I guess, what would you call that, gunmetal gray. All right, so Cooper Webb, that's not changing. Same thing with Eli Tomac, that's not changing. But what will change is Chase Sexton going from number 23, which I love the 23 on his bike. That always looked good. He's going to take the number 4, and we all know who ran the number 4 to the best success that it's ever seen. Of course, that's Ricky Carmichael, 2 perfect seasons, one in 2002, and the other one was in 2004. One's on a 2-stroke, one's on a 4-stroke. He is the GOAT for a reason. But can't keep that number forever. Blake Baggett had it for a while. Now it's going to belong to Chase Sexton. You know what? I think he's going to do better with it than Blake Baggett ever did. I'm really stoked on him for the season. Looks like the number 5 is going to be open for someone to take. I don't know if anyone's going to take it, but it is also open. Same thing with the number 8. And that's really surprising to me to see that no one's taken 8 yet. I don't know why no one's taken it. It's a great looking number. Like I said, Grant Langston, the only guy to have that number as a permanent number throughout its entire history of having the permanent number system. Yeah, he ran it right up until he had an eye injury in, I think his last race was last 11 or 12. After that, he was announcing. Justin Brayton, most likely to petition to keep the number 10. I think from what I've heard, Levi Kitchen asked for number 10, and Justin Brayton gave him the Heisman. Not going to happen. Number 13 is also available as a permanent number, but nobody wants that number, and nor should they. The number of guys who have taken that number and then had either catastrophic injuries or just a completely down season. I'm looking at you, Sebastian Tortelli. There's been some absolutely nightmare seasons with that number. Colt Nichols had that number, but did he? Because he barely even rode that number. So potentially, if Zach Osborne leaves the number 16 available, Tom Vial looks like he's going to be taking that. And also, if the 20 is available, with Brock Tickle relinquishing that, that's going to be Max Volan. So that's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be really weird to see Frederick Noren take the number 22 if in fact it becomes available. Freddie has been kind of mired in the 30s, the 50s, the 40s for the majority of his career. Bouncing all the way up to number 22 would be very cool. And with Chase Sexton leaving the 23 available, that makes it available for Grant Harlan, who, like, for all intents and purposes, like, him being in number 23, that is absolutely wild. Like, that's a number that you really didn't see him rising up to. Mostly those numbers were always taken and secured with a permanent number. He climbs like from 78 to 23 is got to be one of the biggest jumps I've ever seen. Same thing goes for Ty Masterpool going from 81 to 29. There's a lot of great guys that have run 29 over the years, Christian Craig included. Looks like Garrett Marchbanks is also going to drop a number. The Club MX team has seen number 26 before, of course, with Jeremy, or not Jeremy Martin, Alex Martin, who's now retired. He'll relinquish that number 26 machine, 26 number, and it'll become available for Marchbanks to take. Again, these are going to change slightly if, in fact, Chad Reed holds on to the number 22. For all intents and purposes, he should give it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if the AMA allows him to keep that number should he decide that he wants to keep it. So, like, a lot of these numbers might change down the way if that does, in fact, become the case. Also making a case for a big number jump, the 75 to 34, when he ends up on his brand new, I believe he's going to be on a gas rider, DeFrancisco. He's going to be number 34 next year, and then the 33 machine. So Jalek Swoll, he's more than likely going to be on a Husqvarna for next year, and he'll go from 38 to 34, looking good that way. And one that breaks my heart, it really does, see Philip Nicoletti put down the 69 machine, and he'll be, more than likely be running the number 36 next year. So that'll look good on him. Like I said earlier, Talon Hawkins rises from a 3-digit number all the way to 35. That is pretty cool. For those who didn't know, he's good friends with Josh Grant, which is why he ran the 33 in his number for his inaugural season, his rookie campaign. That 33, obviously 339 that he ran, that was why he chose that number. More than likely, and he's earned a permanent number. And I honestly, I would not imagine this thing changes. There's so much, like Deegan 38. There's so much marketability around that number. I think Hayden Deegan grabs number 38 and he just keeps it. I think that's his to keep. He's the super motocross champ, and he'll be running number 38 in all rounds, aside from when it's the SMX playoffs, where he will be running the number 1 because he's the world champ in SMX. That is pretty cool. Pierce Brown, one of the only riders that I can think of that actually went backwards a little bit as far as his number is concerned. I guess Seth Hamaker did as well, but that guy was an absolute band-aid this year. Like, so much talent, so much speed, so much potential to win races. Just a really off year for Seth Hamaker. Hopefully he comes back next year and drops that number. Him and Pierce Brown both sporting higher numbers than they had this year. I guess that'll also be the case for maybe possibly the 55 machine. of Austin Faulkner, who, yeah, he had himself not a year to write home about either. He'll be returning next year, and hopefully with a full bill of health. He missed the last few rounds of SMX with a bum knee. Despite only racing Supercross, Enzo Lopes ends up with number 50. That's going to look good on his bike. And Chance Hymas, the 48 machine on the Honda. It's going to be kind of looking like a little bit of Trey Canard in his second year into the pros. So maybe the 48 machine looked pretty good for a championship back in 2008 for Chance Hymas. Or for Chance Hymas for Trey Canard. So maybe there's some luck in it left for Chance Hymas. Let's continue on with this a little bit. I want to make this a short video, but I don't know how long we're going into this now. But yeah, like you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully, maybe you guys have tuned out. Anyway, Derek Drake, like you could probably imagine his last year was more the same as this year, as he only moves forward one particular number. And then so there's Drake, Dallas Drake. That was a hockey player. Derek Drake, 52. Derek Drake, 53. So he'll actually have a higher number this year, next year than the one he had this year. And same go with Mitchell Oldenburg. Of course, him missing a lot of the outdoor. He didn't race any outdoors and only racing, I believe, one SMX race. And also SMX race is not contributing towards the championship or the overall points. So that's not even into a factor here. Looks like, yeah, Faulkner, he'll take, he had 99 points on the year, and he will take the 64 machine to pro circuit for next season. A lot of high numbers for Mitch next year, including, I think he's going to have some rookies coming in and getting some job done for him. But hey, if Kitchen can figure out those starts, he'll be looking good. Kevin Morans drops his number from 80 to 62. Who else am I looking at? Benny Bloss, the 44 machine, is going to be sporting a number in the 60s. He scored 91 points this year. That'll be good enough for 67. Roman Pap, the Frenchman, I believe he's French. Or is he French or is he Italian? Might be Italian, but either way, he's definitely from Europe. The 444 machine will be number 68. A lot of good guys running 68 over the years. Jerry Robin drops from 93 to 70. That's going to look good on his bike. The 71 machine will be Cole Thompson. The Canadian, the Canuck, will be number 71. Who else? Michael Mosman, after an absolutely terrible season, mired with injuries. He's only raced 6 races this year. That was good enough for 76th in the points, which is kind of crazy to think that he was still able to score more points than Josh Verrees, who will be number 78 next year. Verrees had very much a down year. Same thing goes for Cade Clayson. Had some good races, but also struggled to make some main events. He'll be in the 81 machine, so he'll be spots that at least it stays like Kawasaki, so it'll look familiar. It'll look a little bit similar to Masterpool this last year. And then who else do we have? Ryan Surratt, gonna run the number 95. You guys know that I love my number 95. That's the number I run. Just locally, I don't earn that number. I just have that number. And yeah, that'll be super sick to see if they can actually make that happen. Not on this list, of course. Unfortunately, he did not score enough points to stay in it. For guys who had a national number this year who won't for next year, is, of course, why am I blanking on his name now? Logan Carnow, he'll be heading back to a 3-digit number. So I don't know what number he ran as a 3-digit. But that'll be interesting to see if anyone else jumps off the page here for me. Cody Schock, he will be running number 69. I'm sure there's a few people who are wondering who's going to be running 69. More than likely, that will be Cody Schock. And you know what? That's going to look good on his bike. So that is going to be awesome. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you want more of this content and you want to see me more on Matt Burkine's page, then let me know in the comments. If you don't, then just comment like, who is this clown? Maybe less of this clown or anything quite like that. Either way, hope you have a good one. Take care.